Everybody, welcome to the Brink of Sanity, episode 405. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
I am doing fine. This is our one episode for the year. We'll be done after this episode, and back next year is exciting. Jay loves the new schedule.
I love your schedule of I'm never available. It's really great. It's very
Right,
good.
Jay crazy. Jay,
Um,
do you feel like doing the show with me is a roller coaster?
um, it's kind of like a roller coaster that only goes slowly up, and you never get the payoff.
As an adult, how do you feel about doing roller coasters? Do you want to do a roller coaster?
My
Would you?
friend from college is trying so hard to get me to go to an amusement park, and I just
Yeah.
don't think I'd enjoy it anymore.
So you're 45, right?
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, yeah. All right, at this age, do you want to go on a giant roller coaster? Even though your friend, like, let's say you're at the park
hmm
and your friend's like, "Hey, just come on with me. Please just come on with me." What would your reaction be?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't really want to do it anymore. It just doesn't sound like, I don't know.
Would you do it? You're at the park
If I'm
and
at
you're
the park, I would do it, but the idea of me making like a 4 hour trip to meet him at this park to go on rides all day does not sound great to me.
what if it's not okay, not your friend, it's Thunder Mountain, it's Disney World, it's in April, and it's with your kids. How do you feel about that? Because that's my situation.
That sounds worse. That sounds worse because Disney World is like 95% waiting on lines.
No, forget the Disney World. I mean, obviously forget that aspect of it. How do you feel like I'm gonna have to go on these roller coasters? I am so not excited to go on a roller coaster right now anymore.
Yeah. I think I don't know. At our age, it just doesn't sound like fun having your like insides turned around.
Right.
Like,
I'm picturing in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're gonna go up on the thing, go up, 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 and you get that whole dread, and then you come down. Like, I don't think I want to do this, but I can't really get out of it. So I kind of just have to do it because
last time I went, and this is a long
life.
time ago, but last time I went to Six Flags, we went on the Superman, which basically goes like straight down. And before we did that, we went on the Ferris wheel and we smoked a joint on the Ferris wheel. And then we get on the Superman. We're on the very front car. And right before it goes down, my friend pulls my hood over my head and pulls the strings. And so I'm baked and I can't see it. I'm going down like straight down on the Superman.
I kind of love your friend, but I never would have like that happened to you, not me. I love your friend.
And this is the one that wants me to go to again to
Oh, you should do it just for the story for the show, Jay. We need another episode. Anyhow, we were about to go on up there, and he threw a frog at my face.
he's
The hell
probably
am I gonna
what
do with the frog?
he probably wants me to go so bad because he's been planning something for the last 10 years.
Oh, he's like, I've got something really, really good. Jay's like, why are you grabbing my nipples? Ah,
So yeah, probably not. At least your kids are younger, so you're probably not going to go on anything like the Superman. You're
I
pro-
don't know. My kids are older now. They're like 10 and 12. That's when they start going on the bigger rides.
yeah. Yeah, you're getting there. I'm
We
used
did
to
zip
yeah.
we did zip lining in Costa Rica, which was like it's fine. It's a little scary, whatever. It's fine, but I don't the roller coaster thing. I really don't want to do that right.
Do you know what this month is?
Okay. I think, correct me if I'm wrong,
hmm
it's March. But if I'm wrong, it's fine.
It's also the 16-year anniversary of the Brink of Sanity. You just looked like you were in pain.
That is painful to even hear.
Yeah, 16
James
years.
announcing the end of the show. Is
Six
this Women's March month also?
I don't know.
Is it National Women's Month?
I don't know. Everything's a month now. Every day is something. I lost track of what they all are.
You ran for president. You should like, hey, my big campaign platform is we're going to replace Women's Month with Brink of Sanity Month. How does everyone feel about women being replaced by a podcast? The women are welcome to come on anytime they want.
We have had women on this podcast too.
Have we?
We have.
It's Has it been 16 years?
It's been a while, but
It's been a while.
we've had a bunch. Lauren
Our
was a
representation of
semi-regular for a while.
when's the last time a woman's been on the show?
It has been a few years because all of my regular female co-hosts moved to like different boroughs or different states, and so like
I'm gonna guess the last time you had a woman on the show, Barack Obama was president.
I can't believe we're talking about podcast episodes where Barack Obama was president. Like we've been doing this a long, long
It
time.
might have been George Bush for all I really know.
When did we start the show? 2008. Who was president? That was Barack's like first year, right?
Barack's first year was actually 2009.
Okay, so
You know a lot about how the American
that's probably why I
Did
didn't.
you
I didn't.
run for president? You don't know
No.
when presidents take over?
It's probably why I didn't win. So yeah, Bush was
Next
president.
time, I promise to understand just the basics of how this works.
I mean, I had a good platform. I just didn't know any of the rules.
Well, I think that's kind of what the qualifications this time, just knowing the platform. You don't have to actually know the rules either.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, you don't need to know anything. So
Yeah. Let's not go into politics.
no,
But 16 years, Jay, that is crazy.
that is. So to celebrate our 16-year anniversary, Patrick wants to know what our top 5 foods are.
Okay, cool. Top 5 foods to eat, I assume. Does he?
To
How
look
do you
at.
different like? Well, I'm just saying. I'm going to ask you: breakfast foods, lunch foods, dinner foods, just foods. You include dessert in this. How do you want to do it? Do you include drinks
I went with foods that I will always be up for eating.
and cuisines or foods?
I picked actual foods.
Okay. Are you sure you'll be always up for eating them, even in like the morning versus at night?
Yes. I'm not like, oh, I have to have cereal in the morning or bagel or whatever. Like, I can get up and have pasta. Like, I don't.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
feel like having like a hamburger first thing in the morning, kind of gross. Hamburger last thing at night, kind of good.
So, our mutual friend, Randy, I went to visit her up in college, back in the day, obviously. And we got really drunk. And the next morning, we were super hungover. And she wasn't getting up out of bed, and I was hungry, and there was a leftover Big Mac in the fridge, so I microwaved it and ate it, and she was like sick to her stomach. She thought that was like the worst thing I possibly could have done. And
I remember being in New Orleans many years ago with some friends, getting blitzed the night before, being really sick. In the
Mhm.
morning, one of my friends took me to this. It was like a hole in the wall diner, like a. It was a diner where everyone like sits in the counter, basically.
yeah,
And we got got this greasy burger and whatever it was, and it was like 10, like 9:30, 10 in the morning, and I remember it being so delicious. I mean, that was one of the greatest meals I ever had.
mm-hmm. See,
You can have it. That does work, but I was also really hungover. I don't know if I'm not hungover if I could do that.
okay. So what do you have here as your number 5?
Okay, cool. It's as if I didn't make a list. Can we start at number 1 and work our way down?
It drives me up the wall that you do this.
Okay, my number 1 here
Nobody
would
does
be-
this. Nobody does this.
What do you mean? Does what?
Starts with number 1 and goes to 5
Why would you start with number 5?
because you build up to number 1. Once you
Ooh,
hear
we're
number
gonna
1,
build up.
once you hear
Fine.
number 1, nobody cares about the rest of them.
I don't think anyone cares about the list.
I'm not talking about this particularly, but like, you don't like in an award show, you don't say, "Oh, here's the winner," and now we'll tell you the nominees.
Okay. Let's go. I'm gonna go first. Okay, my number 5 on the list would be, and this also has to be like the perfect ripeness. But I want to go with watermelon.
Are you serious? I knew your list would be weird. You're gonna pick salads and cheeses and fruits.
You know,
Like,
it's a subjective, not an objective thing.
You're
This is my
strange.
opinion, Jay.
I know it is.
Just because you don't like fruit, I'm sorry for you.
I knew your list would be just
Your
off
number
the rails.
I guarantee your number 5 will not be as good as my number 5.
My number 5 is chicken parm.
Okay, so watermelon, really good watermelon, so much better than chicken parm.
You're out of your mind. Okay,
I think you're out of your mind.
cannot wait to hear the rest of your list.
One is really juicy, flavorful. It marks summer. The other one, eh, it's kind of just fried and like doughy to chicken and sauce. And most of the time, first of all, most of the time, chicken parm is not made very well.
Right, but a good chicken, that's why it's number 5. But a good chicken parm is excellent. So you know what I like about chicken parm? There's no
What do you
seeds.
like about chicken
There's
parm?
no seeds in
I
chicken.
like chicken parm like I like my women,
There's no
covered in sauce.
there's no seeds in chicken parm.
Oh, actually, I don't know if you know about this revolution in science, but there's no seeds in watermelon most of the time. Also,
There's seeds in seedless watermelon. They say
you
it's
can always
seedless.
you can always have a chicken bone in your chicken.
They say there's no seeds. There's seeds.
Listen, next time you eat a chicken parm and you're like, "This is the best chicken parm," what's this in my throat? A chicken bone.
How many times does that happen to you?
I mean, the first time will be really bad.
All right, what's your number 4, you psychopath?
Okay, my number 4 on this list. And how do you define like this is something that you would? I'm defining as things that are like big parts of my life.
I like how I sent you this hours ago, and now you're asking me all the questions. It's
No, I'm just saying like you're not gonna put something that you rarely eat. Like if you can't put lobster if you rarely eat lobster, or you can. I don't really care.
I mean, it's your favorite thing, your favorite fucking food. This isn't like, why are you making this so complicated?
Would it be weird if I pick chicken parm here?
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna pick chicken parm. Okay, so my next one would be I really like a really good well,
What kind of salad are you picking?
okay. Okay, I won't pick an apple. I'm gonna pick okay. I like chocolate Italian ices.
Chocolate Italian ices.
Yeah, that's my number 2. Really good chocolate from Ralph's in Long Island. The
Uh-huh.
best. The best.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you said you could do it can be any kind of meal, so that's the dessert, but I like the dessert better.
That's
And-
fine. It's a food. Like if that's your 4th favorite or second,
Okay.
I don't know which order you're going in at this point.
Okay, that's my 4th. I'm doing the way you want it. And I'm sure your list will be I like spaghetti.
That's my number 2.
Oh my god, you're such a baby. Oh my god. Is chicken tenders your next one? Am I feeding a 5-year-old?
Spaghetti is like the perfect food. It's delicious. It's easy to make.
Has your taste gone past your time you were like 5?
Probably not, but
This is
It's-
ridiculous.
it's a classic. It's a classic.
You're a classic. Okay, what's number 4?
Spaghetti's better than an Italian ice. My number 4 is pad ki mao, which is also known as drunken noodles. It's a Thai noodle dish.
Oh, okay, you pick one of like the bad items from a Thai restaurant.
What are you talking about?
There's 2 items at a Thai restaurant. There's pad Thai,
Mhm.
and then there's bad items. Everything else on the menu is bad.
Okay.
Okay, it's probably not everything's bad. I really do like pad Thai. Drunken noodles are kind of lame though.
They're way
That's
better
really
than pad
like
Thai.
so far you're going from chicken parm and drunken noodles.
Pad Thai is like the whitest white person thing you could possibly order.
I'm sorry you haven't noticed how white both of us are.
Yeah, well, I'm a little cultured, you know. I'm a world traveler.
James, like I married into the Thai cuisine.
Okay, what do you have for 3?
Okay, my 3. For number 3, I have 1 and 2 down. Number 3, I am going to pick. Well, I really like what I make for breakfast now, and so it's a combination of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's hear this.
Okay, so now every morning, I really like. I hate when I can't have this in the morning.
Mhm.
I have oatmeal with a layer of chia seeds, and I put crunchy peanut butter on top of it. I microwave it, put a little bit of milk and some frozen blueberries on it. It's a wonderful breakfast creation.
Why don't you put the milk in a jar with the oatmeal overnight and make some overnight oats?
I don't understand why people do that. What makes that better?
The oats absorb the milk overnight, and it has a good consistency.
Okay. Yeah, I make mine in like 3 minutes. I don't need to like make a twig and okay, I'm gonna start making this for next week.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have to sit there and nurse it.
I don't know. I
Pour 2 things in a jar and
the
you put it in
overnight.
the fridge.
I've not caught. Why don't you make your chicken parm the night before?
How do you know I don't?
Okay. Well, that's the word. You're gonna reheat your chicken parm for your best chicken parm.
No, you marinate the chicken so it's juicy and tender.
What are you marinating it in?
I don't know. I made it up. I don't do all that.
I I was like, who marinates the chicken before making chicken parm?
I'm sure
The whole thing
somebody
is
does.
breading and put sauce on it.
Anyway, my number 2 is an eggplant parm. My number 3.
Holy shit, you're like 3. I mean, this is like the most lame. First off, my wife knows when we go out to dinner, I have 2 cuisines I don't like. When you go out to dinner, what cuisine do you go for? What are your top choices for cuisines?
Italian, Mexican, and probably Thai.
Okay. So Thai, Japanese. Those are my 2 choices. Maybe and Mexican also. The 2 choices I really don't like going out for. And I like Mediterranean food also, but the 2 I don't like going out for are Chinese and Italian. I'm not a huge fan of either one of those.
Okay. I hardly ever get Chinese, but Italian I can go to all the time. Obviously with my list.
I mean, I'll eat Chinese. I mean, I have nothing against Italian food. I'm not as Chinese. I really don't like going out for, but I'll eat. I mean, I get Italian. I get people liking it. I like pizza and stuff. Okay, my number 2 would be black beans.
That's not your number 1.
I'm putting sushi as my number 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're both really good, but I think I like sushi a little better than black beans. But I love black beans.
I am shocked that black beans is not your number. Don't you eat that like twice a day, every day?
I mean, I did have black beans today and yesterday and probably the day before, but yeah, I have it. I still have it all the time. I mean, the things I eat all the time, I have every morning. I have black coffee, an apple. Then I work out. Then I have my oatmeal creation. Then later in the day, I have beans at some point.
You sound like you have a very healthy diet.
I have a consistent diet. I don't know if it's healthy or not, but I have a consistent diet. What about you? You eat the same things over and over again, like a weird human like me?
No, no. I mean, I basically just make whatever my wife cooks. So,
When you say make whatever your wife cooks, you mean just eat whatever?
Eat whatever my wife cooks. Yes.
You're like, honey, I made this. You didn't make it. You just took the plate from me.
Hitting the one button on the microwave does not count as making it.
There's just weird definitions of things. Honey, I made our apartment. We bought an apartment. You didn't make the apartment.
My number 1's a burrito.
Okay. What kind of burrito, Jack?
I mean, that's the thing. You could have a different kind of burrito all the time. My favorite is probably chorizo burrito with rice and black beans and cheese.
Black beans.
Yes.
Okay. So Jay agrees black beans are one of the greatest foods on earth.
I do have black beans in my burritos. Yes.
Black beans are kind of awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So thank you, Patrick, for the top 5.
Yeah. And we've more lessons. We've revealed Jay is a 5-year-old when it comes to eating.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you put pizza up there?
I'm not as big of a pizza fan as other people, I think. Like,
Okay.
I like pizza, but it, like, I don't know.
I'm going to take the best Italian food. I would probably just take pizza. I mean, like, as far as taste, pizza's flat out better than all the others.
Depends. I mean, there's a lot of bad pizza out there, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying, like, bad. I mean, there's a lot of there's bad burritos,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the good kind.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not always in the mood for pizza.
Okay. But you're always in the mood for eggplant parmesan?
Yeah.
You could tell your 2-year-old cat, you're like, hey, where's my eggplant parmesan with a mix of pie on there?
I almost had ramen noodles on there.
Yeah, okay.
Like real
Yeah,
ramen
watch-
noodles, not like the 30-cent instant ones.
Aren't those the real ones?
Those are like salt and noodles in a package.
They're so terrible for you.
Yeah.
My son likes them. I was looking at the contents. I was like, holy shit, this stuff is so bad for you.
Yeah, it's like 100% of your daily salt intake. It's like really
Yeah.
bad.
So I saw this on Twitter today. I thought it'd be a good question for you.
Mhm.
Which one are you picking? It's like a red pill, blue pill thing.
Okay.
Red pill.
Mhm.
Restart your life at 6 years of age with all the knowledge you have now.
Mhm.
And I'm going to assume when they say restart your life at 6 years, you're not 6 now, but you actually go back to you go back in time to like the 1980s when you're 6, but you
Right.
have all the knowledge you have now.
Yeah.
Or blue pill, $10 million in cash now. Which do you pick, Jack?
That's interesting because you say you can go back and like correct all your mistakes and stuff, but with the butterfly effect, you'd like correct one thing and then your entire life is different. So
Well, right, but you're going back with this knowledge. You can just have a different life.
yeah,
Like you have
you
you
would.
know a lot more.
You would absolutely have a different life. There's like
Right. And like
almost
first
no
of all,
chance you would like meet your wife in the same spot, and like you're
maybe like this first grader is kicking butt in like math. You're like, yeah, the shit's easy when you're 45 in first grade.
right. Uh,
I also feel like you'd go back and you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make all this money with betting. Wait, shit. What year did the Patriots win the Super Bowl? I got it wrong by 1 year.
well, I would just know buy Bitcoin in 2004 and sell it when it's 70 grand, and I'd be like a trillionaire.
I thought about that also. I feel like I'd be really confused about how to goddamn buy like Bitcoin back then.
Yeah, but you'd have like you'd be able to research it if you know it came out in 2004. You can
I think it was 2009 actually.
okay.
The only reason I think it was then because I think it came after the financial crisis. Like I think that's when the whole idea came out.
Well, anyway, you would have
So
plenty
Jay's
of
like,
time.
Jay's, I've been researching this Bitcoin thing, and it turns out it hasn't been invented yet.
I get arrested for like googling stuff that doesn't exist.
Um, there was the thing called Mount Gox. Well, I guess you probably know enough not to put your money in Mount Gox, but a lot of early investors in Bitcoin had their money in this thing called Mount Gox,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of like Coinbase back then, and all the money just got stolen.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I would probably go back to 6.
you go back to 6?
I think so.
You don't think you take the 10 million now?
No, I mean I would
So
be like 40 years removed from like being closer to death.
yeah, I mean that part is pretty good actually. That part I hadn't thought of, but I think all the things that are negative, like Jay, your parents are divorced, right?
Yeah, they're separated, yeah, pretty much.
Separated, okay. You'd be like a 6-year-old being like, okay, you guys don't love each other, so why the fuck are we pretending to be a family? You can be like annoyed at things that are like, I know this is coming, or you're gonna try to, hey dad, why don't you not be a jackass to mom and maybe you guys won't get separated?
It would be a complete mind.
Yeah.
It would
And
be
you'd be
weird.
like when you're like 13 years old, you're like hitting on a girl and you're like, wait a second. I know enough to know that my adult mind, am I a pedophile if I'm hitting on a 13-year-old girl?
Well, there you go. You have to bring it up every episode.
Okay, moving up. I'm just saying how much would it fuck with you to have the mind of a 45-year-old at age 6?
You would probably have to incorrectly answer some tests so people don't like it would be weird if you just aced every single test, right? You'd have to put like a wrong answer here and there.
Have you ever played with a 6-year-old? Do you know how fast you get bored? And you have to like pretend to be like, oh, this is fun. Throwing this ball and laughing.
Right, right. Or like when your parents just tell you to go outside and play and there's like nothing, like you just have to run
Jay,
around in circles in the backyard or whatever. Like oh, this is
Jay's
great.
like, where's daddy's porn? I need to get off. I mean, oh. This is gonna be a rough no couple bunch of years.
Yeah, that whole concept is weird. I don't
Yeah,
know.
everything about it's really weird. Like all like forgetting like and using the information, you'd be like, yeah, there's a thing called the iPhone used on the internet. What the internet's not been invented yet. What the hell am I talking about? Damn it.
Hmm. But yeah, I'd still go back.
How do you think you'd use the knowledge?
Um, I would just know like certain like people to be friends with or stay away from. Uh, like
By the way, you said you want to get things wrong on tests. Like, what if they're like, wow, this kid's a little genius. And then later on they found out they're like, wow, he's really learning. The stuff he knew really hit a plateau really fast.
it's true. I mean, um, I was a communications major in college. It's not like I was taking brainy stuff in college.
Right. At some point they're like, you're like, I'm not as smart as these other advanced sixth graders.
Right, exactly. Although I guess if I already knew all this stuff, I could spend like elementary school like learning a new language or something, because like I wouldn't have to spend time like studying and doing homework and stuff.
How would you convince your parents to like do like, hey, mom, I know everything. Can I learn Japanese?
I don't know. I'd have to steal the book from the library or something.
I want this to be like a show where someone like this would be a great Netflix show where someone goes back and the 6-year-old like has the same brain and like has to like go through life with all the shit he knows. And he's like, God damn it, we're singing a song about how wonderful the world is in school, and I'm like, it's not wonderful. You don't know what's coming.
You know, to stop watching Game of Thrones after season 7.
James like this knowledge is not going to be helpful for the 35 years.
I would probably save a lot of time not reading the first 5 books, knowing now that the 6th book is never coming out.
James like, wait, facts of life this is entertainment back then? Oh shit, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna be a real drought of good stuff to watch in the 80s.
You're like, come on, just invent the internet, Reddick. Invent the internet. Jay, what are you babbling about? God damn it, Mom.
I mean, I could get in on computer programming right away.
I mean, you could like just be like, hey, Mom, Dad, can you just put all your money in this company called IBM or Microsoft or any company?
Right. Apple.
Yeah, Apple. All your money. You want us to invest in a farm? No, did you see Forrest Gump, which hasn't been out, not gonna be out for 15 years?
Wouldn't that be frustrating? Because they wouldn't listen to a 6-year-old and they would not invest in Apple, and you're just watching the price go up, and you're just like, motherfuckers.
What if you can only you're 40, you take your 45-year-old brain,
mm-hmm.
you can only, but you have to live the 1 year as you're 6. You have that 1 year to change your outcome of your life, but then afterwards you go back to being 45. So during that 1 year as a 6-year-old, you have to like change your financial future of your family or whatever. Could you get people to listen to you as a 6-year-old?
Yeah, no, there's no way you would. I mean, I guess the only way you could change it is if you like left a note for yourself to read later. Like, open this when I'm 18, and then at 18 it's like a list of things to do.
Wasn't that what they did with Biff or in Back to the Future with the betting?
Well,
he went back in time and found himself.
Yeah.
And he said, "Bake these bets," basically.
Yes. Yeah.
So you kind of do that. You write it down, and then you hope, like, okay, hopefully the paper is not lost in the next 11 years.
Right. Exactly. I'm so like good with that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't lose it. I mean, I still had all my like 80s toys up until a year ago when I sold it all, and they were all in like, I was selling them all as almost like new condition, and I played with them. I was just so good with my stuff.
You like carve into your skin a tattoo of buy Apple stock just to remind your parents to buy it. I don't know why he's doing this to his skin.
Yeah, I think my parents wouldn't listen, but if I wrote a note to myself and like put it somewhere I knew it would be, it would work.
You could give all the government secrets to a 6-year-old and they'd become perfectly safe.
Yeah.
No one would ever listen to that 6-year-old.
Nope. I mean, people didn't really listen to me when I was like 18 either. They're like, oh, whatever, you don't know shit.
Yeah. There was a comedian who was a bit about like, he's like, people say they want to go back in time and like kill Hitler. He's like, you know what would happen to me? I'd go back in time and I'd get killed by Hitler. That's what would happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. You wouldn't
It's not like you go back in time and like you're like, I'm gonna go back in time and also be James Bond. Then it might work out.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even get close to Hitler.
No, you'd have no ability. You'd go back in time. I'd be in New York being like, okay, how do I kill Hitler? Let's see. I'm Jewish. I might want to just stay in New York.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to go to Germany.
I mean, best I could do is be like just telling people around like America, this guy Hitler's bad. And U.S. was pretty anti-Semitic back then, so they probably would have just beat me up for telling them that.
You probably couldn't even pull it off if you went back to when he was a baby, because you would still have to figure out a way to get to Germany and find him and like.
Right. It's not like I could look him up in the yellow pages.
Right. Exactly.
I'm looking for a baby named Adolf Hitler to murder. Yes, I'm going to go to jail. And also, like, let's say you go there, you murder this baby, and people are like, they're going to execute you, and you're like, I saved humanity. And they're like, what are you, a moron?
You just killed a baby. What's wrong with you?
You murdered a baby. No, he was going to be the greatest criminal. Yeah, it's a baby. What are you, fucking idiot?
They should make a show like that where it just goes completely wrong.
Right. They make a show where someone actually goes back in time, has to figure out how to kill Hitler or the baby of Hitler.
Yeah, and he just completely fucks it up. Like what would happen in real life? Like it just wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to do it.
First of all, I'd go back in time and I'd be in New York and I'd be like, okay, I've got to go kill Hitler. And I'd be like, okay, how do I get the money for the flight to Germany?
Right.
Fuck, I need to get a job now.
Right.
Man, flights are expensive now.
You're trying to save up, and the baby's just getting older and older, and like you realize you need to pay rent, and then like you need to get a car to drive to work, and like, you're just living life in the 40s. And, like,
Well, now I can't. Okay, Hitler's getting old. I have kids to support. I have to go to my 9 to 5.
I ran out of vacation days.
I'll get Hitler next year when I accrue some more
PTO. I just don't have
PTO.
it. Yeah, that's.
Would you like to go back to a time when you use an acronym like PTO and people would punch you in the face?
I mean, I wouldn't want to go back. There wasn't a lot of deodorant back then. I mean, even hooking up with women and stuff, like you wouldn't want to go back before like the 60s, right? When did
I don't
deodorant
know.
really like get effective?
I was thinking about things like, by the way, forget going back to kill Hitler, which would be, I guess, an admirable thing to do. What about going back to kill the person that invented acronyms?
I'd rather kill the person who invented TikTok.
I mean, that's not that far ago.
Yeah.
What's the problem with TikTok? I mean, all the other services are doing it. It was going to happen anyway.
You go back in time 6 years.
Go back in time 6 years.
So you could have changed any world event and you went back 6 years.
Just like I got to really go back in time. I was able to change world events. So, I killed that Philly mascot. You know the whatever his name is, that weird looking one for the 76ers? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, just like the worst thing you could possibly do, like the most useless.
Dumbest use of going back in time possible.
Yeah. All right. So,
do you think hooking up with chicks like in like the 1960s, you'd be like everyone smelled?
maybe not the 60s, but I'm pretty sure like the 50s and back. Yes.
I'm assuming in the 1400s, everyone smelled really bad.
1400s, 1800s.
Yeah, like before shower technology.
Everyone
must have been really.
Yeah, everyone had to smell like a homeless person.
Yeah, I mean, you basically showered once a month in the lake.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't go back in time before the 60s.
What if I gave you $10 million, but you have to live in the 1800s?
You would just be vomiting all day.
But with $10 million now is a lot of money. $10 million in the 1800s would be you'd be one of the richest men.
Oh yeah, that's like $1 trillion, but.
But you're also like gonna have to live in the 1800s.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Get murdered?
Pretty much.
I have a lot of money. Oh shit, murder's legal.
Yeah, no, you don't.
No, I don't. This is working out really well.
You'd have to like hire mercenaries and stuff. You'd be like a warlord.
I will devote my life to guarding you for $1. $1 a year? I meant a lifetime, just $1. That's how much currency's worth now.
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't. I would not go back to the 1800s.
Okay, what if I gave you $10 million and go back to the 1920s? You have a lot of modern things that are from the 1920s. Cars are real. You get one of like the
yeah, I
Henry
mean, cars
Ford.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah. TV's like a couple years away.
A lot of listening to the radio.
I also have no idea when TV was actually invented, but I don't think it was a mass product until like the 1940s or 50s.
Yeah, 40s. Even in the late 40s, early 50s, it was like 8 inches in black and white.
Okay, Jen, I'm gonna give you $10 million. Go live in 1980.
Yeah,
no internet.
That I could do.
Would that be better than $10 million now?
Yeah.
You're gonna be 45, so forget the extra life part. You're gonna be 45 in 1980 with $10 million, or 45 today with half a Bitcoin.
$10 million in 1980 is like 26.
That's a good amount of money.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, 30 million now.
Sure.
I mean,
account.
or I reversed that. It would be like 10 million in 1980 would be like having
30 million now. Yes.
Yeah.
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 It's just inflation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah.
The buying power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I would do 1980. Yeah.
so you'd rather, but then like a lot of the things you enjoy in life are just far away because you're 45 years old. So by the time you're 60 is when 1995 when you start seeing the internet.
I could deal without it.
You can deal without the internet.
If nobody had the internet, you wouldn't miss it that much.
Yeah, but also you have to all the forms of entertainment you enjoy are not available.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. There was still stuff to do. It wasn't all like internet based.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess you have to. So let's say I plop you down in $10 million, January 1st, 1980. You have to go meet people also. How are you gonna get to know people?
I mean, you'd have to go out in public, I guess. Like, we met people, made friends before the internet.
Hi, I moved to your town. I have money. I'm gonna enjoy living here. You be my friend.
Just hang out at bars a lot, I guess. I don't know.
Go to bars. Go bowling. I bet bowling's a good way to meet people back then.
Yeah. Billiards.
Bowling, billiards.
There was arcades.
I don't think the people that you want to meet adult age are in the arcades. I don't know why you brought back the pedophilia.
Yeah, maybe not.
Jay's like, I don't know. I keep going to the arcade. I don't meet anyone of age.
Yeah, maybe billiards and bowling alley.
Also, video games in 1980.
There's a couple.
Not so much fun. I really want to play Pong.
You have, I think you had Missile Command.
Okay, I got Space Invaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I feel like we've gotten so used to the culture we have now. It's one thing to go back to 2010, but going back to 1980 would be really tough.
It would definitely be tough, but I think with $10 million, you can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have a pretty good life, though. All the things you want to buy with $10 million, you don't have because they don't exist yet.
True.
I mean, obviously you could make more money and all, but your argument about the age thing with going back with when you're 6, you're like, you give an extra 40 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a good perk. So we've had Rob from the Uncanny Xcast on the podcast.
Yes.
And somebody from a fan of his show looked up their show on ChatGPT. And they said, what do you know about the Uncanny Xcast on ChatGPT? And it gave this long explanation. This is them. This is the history of the show. Blah blah blah. And I thought it was pretty cool. So I typed in, "What do you know about the Brink of Sanity podcast?"
I'm gonna guess it knows nothing about the Brink of Sanity podcast because I'm gonna guess ChatGPT is too good for us.
It says, I don't have any specific information about a podcast of that name. It is possible it is a lesser known podcast.
Oh, so it actually knows everything.
Yeah, so it got it exactly right.
I don't know how exactly it works, but I guess it doesn't study the entire internet.
I guess. I mean, we barely have an internet presence, but yeah, you'd think it would be able to.
No, I'm just saying, I originally thought those things studied the entire internet.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
But I don't think it actually does that.
Yeah, and then it guessed. I said, it says, could you tell me more about it? And so I said, it's a comedy podcast that started in 2008. And it said, got it. The Brink of Sanity is a long-running comedy podcast that began in 2008. It likely features a variety of humorous topics, discussions, and possibly guest interviews. It's just guessing everything.
Okay.
Comedy podcasts like this often have a loyal following and cover a wide variety of subjects, often with a humorous twist. So it just guessed.
The only thing I'd say is that the ChatGPT you're using is the unpaid version, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The unpaid version, I think, is not up to date. Where I think the paid version goes up to date.
Yeah, well, it said as of 2022.
Okay, yeah. That one thing I did know about it was not...
but we've been around since 2008, so it still should have had something.
Can you ask it about... I kind of want to ask it about Brink of Sanity presidential candidates.
I asked about Mark and Jay,
Yeah.
and it said, let's see, tell me about Mark and Jay. It said Mark and Jay likely refers to Mark Griffin and Jay Santana, hosts of a podcast or radio show. So there is apparently another Mark and Jay that has a podcast that people have heard of.
Okay. Do you know anything about Brink of Sanity presidential candidate?
I really doubt that.
It seems you're referring to a fictional character or concept rather than an actual presidential candidate. Could you provide more context or clarity what you mean by Brink of Sanity presidential candidate?
I literally registered as Mr. Brink Sanity in 2016. It obviously did not search the Republican Register.
It was in the New York Post?
It was also in the New York Post. Yeah. So I don't know about this. It's not doing a clean sweep of the internet.
Okay. Well, you're referring to Vermin Supreme, a performance artist and political activist who ran as a presidential candidate in 2016. Vermin Supreme is known for his eccentric persona. No, I'm referring to Jay McKenna.
Yeah, no, I've heard of Vermin Supreme. He was an opponent in the presidential race.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last month, this is why we haven't done shows lately. Last month, I got laid off.
Oh, Jay McKenna is a fictional character from the web series The Brink of Sanity. In the series, Jay McKenna runs for president of the United States as an independent candidate. The show portrays his campaign and various comedic situations that arise throughout the process. The Brink of Sanity is a comedy series created by comedian Jay Whitney, and it primarily revolves around a group of friends navigating various absurd and humorous situations.
Are we living in the Matrix?
I think ChatGPT just makes shit up, basically. So, like, if I keep asking it questions, it'll make stuff up.
Gotcha.
No. Jay McKenna is host of the New York Knicks podcast. Let's see what it says to this. Jay, I thought you said you had big topics for the show.
I have topics for the show. I was just getting into it, and you cut me off.
My apologies for confusion. Jay McKenna is indeed the host of the Brink of Sanity podcast, which focuses on the New York Knicks basketball team. The podcast covers 15.
Okay, so you kind of like grab it by the ears.
Yeah.
I can
Jay.
Does it learn if you like tell it this stuff? Does it?
Jay was once a bisexual extra on Desperate Housewives.
You're forever changing my internet history.
I'm sorry, there might be a misunderstanding. As far as I'm aware, there's been no known connection between Jay McKenna, the host of Brink of Sanity podcast, and appearance as bisexual extra on Desperate Housewives.
Called you out on your complete bullshit. So, yeah, so we haven't done a show lately. I got laid off and dealing with a lot of anxiety. So one night I found some anti-anxiety gummies, and they were I think they were expired for a little bit, so they were harder. So I bit down on it, and it broke my tooth. So it had the exact opposite effect.
Hang on.
Yeah,
it's hard enough. How does it break your tooth? Like I bite down on ice. It doesn't break my tooth.
I must have bit down at the right angle, and it just like broke off a piece of my tooth. So it had the exact opposite effect of an anti-anxiety gummy. Now I had just this like half a tooth hanging in there, and as you know, when you get laid off, you lose your health insurance. So that was fun.
What time of day did this happen?
At night. I was gonna have the gummy before bed, calm down a little bit, and bit down on the gummy, and it split my tooth.
I'm sorry, Jay. Oh, well, this not having a job thing is really hurting my anxiety. Ooh, anti-anxiety medication. Oh my God, I'm in so much pain. I'm bleeding. Help me.
That's a pretty much exact reenactment, yeah.
That's exact reenactment, okay.
Yeah. That was fun. So anyway, I've been interviewing like crazy, and interviewing's the worst. And
Do you want to pretend to do an interview right now just to like practice your skills?
no, I've had 25 interviews in the last month. I am so sick of interviewing.
Okay, so Jay, what brings you here to interview for a job as bisexual extra on Desperate Housewives?
Well, I am desperate, and I guess I'm
Okay,
playing the role of a housewife with no job.
okay. It says here you ran for president
Mhm.
of what country?
It's odd that I put that in my resume, but yeah, this country.
Okay, and it says here you can do accounting.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, did you account for the fact that I was going to ask you that question?
Ooh, zing.
Zing! Oh man, is it okay in this? Are you okay if we continually make puns on your profession?
I would prefer it actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about working most hours that you're awake?
Hmm. I was kind of hoping for not that.
Okay. Okay. Well, what if we could give you more hours?
More than all the waking hours.
Yes, yes. All you don't need to sleep.
You know, I think I applied for this job.
What would you say your biggest strength is when fighting superheroes?
Well, I haven't fought a superhero in a few years.
Ah, well, that's not the kind of experience we're looking for here.
Damn it. Back to the drawing board.
Can you if you were going to help our company embezzle money, how would you do that?
Through the power of accounting.
Ooh, that is a superpower, and we are interested in getting in trouble with the law. That does sound pretty good.
There you go.
Do you have any successful businesses you could tell us about?
I have many unsuccessful businesses.
Ooh, okay, that'll be entertaining at the very least.
I've had a very unsuccessful podcast for 16 years.
Wow, 16 years.
It shows I don't quit, even though all
Yes.
evidence shows I should.
Would you have you ever climbed up to the base camp at Mount Everest?
Isn't base camp at the base?
I don't know. Apparently, it's like 17,600 feet above sea level, and it takes like 80 miles to get there.
That sounds terrible.
Would you do it with a 2-year-old?
If I didn't want the 2-year-old anymore.
Apparently, there are parents that bring their kids up Everest.
Those sound like terrible parents.
Base camp for Everest sits 17,600 feet above sea level. It's an 80-mile trek, and there are parents that bring their kids who are like as young as 2 up there because they're the worst fucking parents on earth.
Yeah, you don't need to bring your kids everywhere.
I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and I remember I met some guy that was there, and he's like talking about how him and his wife never miss it, and they almost missed it this year because they had the little one, but they brought the baby to Mardi Gras. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, these
Perfect.
are just amazing parents.
Perfect
And I hadn't met
atmosphere.
I was like, these parents actually seem like fucking amazing compared to the Everest parents.
I mean, there was a bar in Brooklyn that so many people were bringing. It became like trendy for all the hipster parents to bring their kids to the bar that like people were complaining and they actually had to make like a no baby rule because the bar was just filled with babies.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's
Maybe
like
they should bar that like you have to have a baby to come in. Like the opposite, they're like, no baby, no entry.
maybe if you can't go without going to a hipster bar to get your IPA out of a styrofoam cup because it's hip, maybe you shouldn't have kids yet.
Yeah, yeah. Jay wants to eliminate all. I feel like Jay, you might have an issue with everyone that has kids.
Yeah.
Not everyone that actually has kids now, but everyone that like is going to have kids. You could find a reason for them not to have kids.
Yeah, there's so much traffic. That's it. It's all encompassing. The traffic argument covers everybody. Too much traffic, knock it off.
Yeah, no, that would make it. Remember like going places. I don't know how much you drove during early years of COVID, but like holy shit, it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Now
I
not
could
so
drive from Long Island to New Jersey and just get there like in a normal amount of time.
much. Yeah.
What I like it's 35 miles and I got there in 35 minutes. This is fucking amazing.
So I got asked in an interview how I would feel working nights and weekends.
Oh, did you get asked, by the way, that question whether you are an ally to the LGBT community?
No, I have not been asked that.
That I would love to see your like, okay, everything's going great. This is going great. Sir, are you an ally to the LGBT community? Wait, do you support LGBT or are you an ally? I support, but am I an ally? What the fuck does that mean?
What is the difference? I don't know.
Okay. So you got to ask, how do you feel about working nights a week? I love when they ask those, like, how do you feel?
Yeah,
Question.
I wanted to be like, how the fuck do you think I feel about working nights and weekends? Think
I
about
feel
that for a second.
so excited because you know what? I'm Batman, so I enjoy working at night.
Can we also include working lunches? Because I like to have no separation between work and home life.
So how do you respond? So let's just go back to the interview. Jay, I like your resume. You seem like a fine fellow.
Mhm.
How do you feel about working nights and weekends
And
and weekend nights?
I was against it until you included the caveat also weekends. Now I'm in. Now I'm in.
Okay, good, because we need people who are team players.
Mhm.
How do you feel, Jay, about being a team player?
Yeah, I mean, can you give me a beeper, and I could put it next to my pillow, so in the middle of the night you could beep me with important messages.
Yes. Here at giant faceless corporate asshole corp,
Mhm.
we are a family. How do you feel about us being your family, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, if you never leave my apartment and you make a lot of noise and are always telling me to do stuff, then it'll be just like family.
How do you feel about us being your loved ones and spooning with me?
You specifically?
Yes,
I
if you
thought
want the job.
in the office, or are you coming to my apartment?
Well, we're in my apartment now, so it's convenient.
Hmm.
Did you think it was weird that the interview took place in my bedroom and I'm wearing nothing?
I did think that was weird decor for your office. Yeah, that explains a lot now, though.
That's
Could,
explain a lot.
can you turn the
Any
smooth
other
jazz
any
down a
other?
little bit?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, can you turn the smooth jazz down a little bit during this interview?
It's always smooth. It's never there's never a bad time for smooth jazz.
So I also had one place give me a personality and logic test, two separate tests, a logic test and a personality test. This one was through a recruiter, and the recruiter told me they do not interview anybody unless you take these two tests.
Okay.
So I got this message late in the afternoon, let's say like 4 o'clock, and I got these two tests, and I took them right away, and I sent them back, and so they got them around near the end of the day, and around 9:15 a.m. the next morning, I got a message saying they offered the position to somebody else.
I guess someone took the test faster than you did.
Like, are they just mining data about me? Like, how could they possibly have been that close to an offer and had me take these tests?
Well, I'm assuming the recruiter had no knowledge of where they were in the process, so he just knew you had to take the tests, and then he submits you and find out immediately they already had an offer out. I guess.
I mean, if you're at the offer stage, like pull the pull the position, like that.
Because they don't update the recruiter basically until they have the accepted offer. So like there's the part of it where they're not updating the recruiter unless the recruiter's sending someone over that day. So the recruiter doesn't actually know there's an offer out. They just know like that like they can still submit someone.
So absurd.
But having taken the personality test, it's like, hey, I'm gonna take those tests first. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so stupid. The personality test was like a list of 50 words, and they're like, check off the words you think an employer would be looking for in an employee, and
Oh
then
God.
you click off whatever words, and you hit next, and then it's the same 50 words, and it's like, which of these would you say apply to you? So you obviously click the same words,
Jay, I don't know. I already heard the inside story on this.
Hmm.
The guy that got the job was the guy that was like, "I'm not taking this stupid exam," and they were like, "Ah, that's what we want in this company." The guy that's not smart enough not to take this stupid exam.
Right, right. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Do people really like look at that and be like, "Oh no, I was looking for altruistic, and that wasn't clicked off." So
All I know is that we have to be the people that come up with these exams because you come up with the exams, you sell them to companies, and you make money you make money from selling the exams.
hmm, yeah, it's like the guy who put a book on Amazon. It said how to make $600,000, and there was one book available for $600,000.
Did anyone buy it?
No, but
Uh,
if they did, they would know how he made $600,000.
I guess you could put it on for $1 each, and then be like put on keep putting on like the first page just says one, second page says to be continued. The next book says two, the next thing says to be continued. You keep buying until you get to the $600,000 for him.
Yeah, I don't think somebody's going to buy 600,000 books.
You don't think so?
No, no, I don't think so.
Do you remember that someone had a website, this was many years ago in the earlier days of the internet, where it was like a million pixels, and you could advertise on a little pixel, and each pixel was $1, and he made $1 million selling all the pixels.
No, I don't remember that at all.
You could if you put your mouse over the pixel, you could see the bigger what it was. And he was trying to sell all million pixels for like advertising.
Interesting.
I don't know if he actually sold all million, but he sold like a lot of that. And it got like it was trending or like viral for a little while. So I'm sure he made it because since each pixel was $1, like anyone could put something up there.
Right. Did he monitor it, or was there like? I'm just picturing if he didn't monitor it, like all the pixels are just porn and drugs.
I mean,
and...
whatever. If you're making $1 million, no, I don't think anything was. I think, well, like putting up a million pixels would take forever. Also, I don't know how he actually did it, but I'm sure he had something where you submit and the thing was like randomly put up the pixel. I don't know how he prevented like porn on there.
He probably didn't. I mean, if he's gonna pre-approve a million ads, that's like.
Yeah, that would take forever. I don't know, but it was like you could like it was kind of cool because you could like see all the different things that came up because you just put your mouse over something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess like
it was a clever idea. I don't know. The guy probably runs Facebook right now.
I'm sure he
probably
yeah,
Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm sure he made more money than we've ever seen in our lives. So
yeah, exactly.
I also had somebody set up.
Jet,
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
yeah,
When you do get a new job,
yeah.
are you excited to post on LinkedIn new job and have their fireworks for your new job? Jay is starting a new job today. It works. LinkedIn.
They have fireworks when you do that.
There's anytime you see a LinkedIn someone says a new job, there's like a little it's a little like a little animation basically connected to when you post you have a new job.
Ah, okay.
It's not like fireworks, but it's like kind of like something shooting. I have to find one. I see them all. Oh, this one's. I guess maybe you have ones to choose from. This one says, "I'm excited. I'm starting a new job," and it has like balloons basically.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna change my status from like actively looking to
Not actively looking.
yeah, open opportunities. I mean, as soon as you flip that switch, it's just you get 5 recruiters a day spamming your inbox.
What were you going to say? What story were you going to tell?
Oh, I had somebody else set up an interview, and then just not show up, which was cool, and then not apologize for not showing up, and then offer the job to a temp instead of a full-time position.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's been
doing
fun.
Really well.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm just letting you know, at Brink of Sanity, we're still considering your application. We've noticed you have 16 years of work experience at Brink of Sanity. How is that relevant to working at Brink of Sanity?
So the brinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email. Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter, at Brink of Sanity on Patreon if you want to support the show. We do have a Discord. The links are on our Twitter, and Facebook. We're at Brink of Sanity on Facebook, and I think that's all the play. Well, there's a Brink of Sanity on Instagram. We don't really post there like ever, so you don't really need to follow that one. I'm really selling that one.
I suppose the other ones that no one's following either.
I mean, those we actually post in though.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you could. I did a couple new posts for JLo's Music. If you want to see some album reviews, jlosmusic.wordpress.com. What are you working on, Mark?
Nothing.
All right. Are we out, or do you have anything else?
I got nothing else, Jay.
All right. I want to thank everybody for listening, and we will be back soon. Assuming Mark is available anytime in the next.
I'm available. I'll be on tomorrow morning. We're doing another one.
Mm-hmm, I'm sure. All right. We'll see you soonish. Goodbye.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You cannot go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, 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 everybody.
All right. We did it. We did an episode.
Yes, we did it.
I'm saving that so we don't lose that gold.
It was a little off.
It was a little off.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was fine. I don't know. What do you think?
That was all right. I don't know. When we get no feedback ever, we'll.
It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to close the live room.